Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, good morning, whatever time of day it is where you're joining us from. My name is Smash, and I am joined by
Elf Indulgence.
Thank you for being here, Elf. And we are also joined by the wonderful Alex is on fire, who is going to be feeding us stats throughout the afternoon of the two games that we've got going on today. The first of our two games today, London Docklands Fight Railway taking on Bath Roman Rollers. So skating in white, we've got Bath Roman Rollers. We've got number 05, Nina, number 198, Nicole Skidman, number 26, Stingray, number 29, Matilda, number 2001, Jamagotchi, 333, Beelzebub, number 44, Stevie Kicks, number 477, Ursa Boom, number 51, Beast, number 511, J for Gendetta, number 531, Rocker, number 54, Skatey, number 7, Tiny Dancer, number 77, Slow Gin, number 92, Derby Allen, number 999, Dropkick Murphy, number 314, Elemental, and number 42, Smackbeth. And that is Bath Roman Rollers skating in white today. And I think we'll go through London's roster once.
A little bit later on.
A little bit later on. So, first jam of the game, and that is Smackbeth jamming for Bath. And that is
7-7 Lavender Haze jamming for London Docklands Fight. And they are your lead jammer for this first jam.
Yep, so Lavender Haze with the star. So Lavender Haze finding space down the middle of that wall of Bath blockers, picking up those first 4 points of the game. And we have got Elemental Smackbeth. The Bath jammer has been sent to the penalty box.
Along with one of their blockers is also sat in the box.
So first jam of the game, and we have already got a power jam.
And Lavender Lavender Haze, taking advantage of that little pack difference on track and making the most of that advantage to pick up 4 more. And we have the Bath jammer now back on track for their initial lap. Lavender Haze calling off the jam there, picking up 16 points for London Fight.
That is a big jam for our first jam of the game. 16 points, so 16 to London, 0. Oh no, 2. I lied. It's 2 points picked up by Bath in that jam.
Lovely. And we have number 7, Tiny Dancer, as your jammer for Bath. Up against 975, which is Penelope Bruise for London Fight.
Penelope Bruise, really, really lovely toe-stop work there around the outside, but not quite able to make it out for their initial pass.
And a recycle on the Bath jammer there.
So Penelope Bruise making the most of that no pack being called, picking up lead jammer for London.
Bath is only half a track behind though, with Tiny Dancer working to close that gap.
Penelope Bruise seeing the danger, calling off the jam, picking up another 2 points for London. No points picked up by Bath in that jam, bringing the score to 18 to London, 2 to Bath.
And on our S1 jam line, we now have Ruckus, number 13, skating for London, up against Beelzebub, 333 for Bath.
And we are going into an official timeout. So use this time to tell you about one of our sponsors, S1 Helmets. The S1 Lifer helmet is the best fit and the best protection, and it is made for roller derby. Get a lifer, be a lifer, and that's S1 Helmets. So while we're in an official timeout, is this time that we can talk through the skaters that are skating in black with the pink accents?
So skating in black for London Docklands Fight Railway, we have 006, Charizard, 0115, Zip Hazard, 04, The Renegade, 13, Ruckus, 151, Scaldy Burns, 2009, Sakura, 2187, Skate Butch. 23, Sarah. 314, Pie and Smash. 37, Reverend Gina George. 404, Els Bells. 416, Pakioka. 501, Roller Jawa. 53, Dr. Jean Knockout. 474, Claire Force 1. 77, Lavender Hayes. 833, Leia Jaded. 92, Elsie Dagger, and 975, Penelope Bruce.
That was so perfectly timed, just in time for the next jam, as we've got Ruckus with the star for London, and that's Beelzebub with the star for Bath.
They are both working their way through the pack, but Beelzebub has got out first as your lead jammer.
That is the first lead jammer for Bath so far of the game.
And looks like we have a recycle there for the London jammer.
Beelzebub making the most of some space in lane 1 up on turn 1, picking up those 4 points.
Ruckus has made it out of the pack, just as Beelzebub comes back in and takes a big hit to the inside.
Beelzebub taking another big hit to the outside, pulling off the jam, picking up an extra 2 points for that last pass.
And managing to hold London scoreless. So we have 3-7 Reverend Gina George as your next jammer for London Docklands. Up against 2001. Who is Jamagotchi as your jammer for Bath. Quick official timeout for some track repair.
So after 3 jams, the score currently standing at 6 to Bath, 18 to London. Still very much everything to play for. It'll be interesting because these two teams haven't faced off against each other before, so it should be very interesting seeing how they kind of work each other out.
It definitely looks like they're getting to know each other on track so far.
I mean, it's just jammers just skating around each other, exerting energy before they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
We are going into this jam with a pack advantage in favour of London, as Bath starting with 2 blockers in the penalty box.
And they are definitely making the most of that, with Reverend Gina George already back into the pack on a scoring pass. But we have Jamagotchi also working their way back to the pack.
Jamagotchi going in fast for that first scoring pass, not able to pick up any points, but really putting the pressure on and forcing Reverend Gina George to pull off that jam.
We have 7-7 Lavender Hayes back for London on our S1 jam line.
That is Smackbeth with the star for Bath. But it is Lavender Hayes that picks up that all-important lead jammer status, but Smackbeth hot on their heels.
Bath trying to protect their points, getting to the front of the pack there. Oh, but Lavender Hayes calling it from the floor.
I love it when jammers just call it from the floor. Just call it from being absolutely hit off the track.
Oh, but Smackbeth managing to pick up 2 points there.
Very nice. So, bringing the score to 10 to Bath. No, ignore me. It's 9 to Bath, 24 to London. And we have got about 24 minutes left of this first half of the game.
Up next we have Reverend Gina George skating for London up against Tiny Dancer for Bath. Now, I believe this is their first time out on the jam line.
So we've got Penelope Bruce up there with the stuff for London and Tiny Dancer. I've seen them both before. I've got little star markers next to their face in my programme.
Oh, that's the first one I've put up for Tiny Dancer. I must have missed the last one.
But that is Tiny Dancer, who is lead jammer, but has been hit out to the outside of the track and is going to be recycled to the back of the pack. An opportunity for Penelope Bruce to make it out on their initial and put the pressure on. We'll see how this plays out. Tiny Dancer listening to their bench, calling off the jam, unable to pick up any points there. So that is a scoreless jam. I think the first scoreless jam we've had so far.
And that is Ruckus back on the jam line for London. Jamagotchi back on the line for Bath. Oh, some beautiful work on the outside line there from Jamagotchi. And it looks like we had a star stash there from...
I was going to say, I think that's the first stash we've had so far of the game. London have had kind of, quite reasonable control of the game so far, so haven't been kind of seeing any of those kind of stashes or passes so far from London. But I want more star passes. I want star passes. I want apex jumps.
We want the drama.
I want jammer switcheroos.
Yeah.
I want all of that good stuff. Derby's fun anyway, but the stuff that makes Derby more fun.
That little bit of extra spice.
Yeah, like Salt Bay with the peppering of jammer switcheroos. Yeah.
That's what we want. Ooh.
I was talking about jammer switcheroos and spice and immediately missed Beelzebub picking up lead jammer pretty much almost instantly off that jam start whistle, going round nice and quickly into that pack and facing no resistance whatsoever to pick up those 4 points for Bath.
Yep, Rev and Gina George making their way back to take on the Bath wall.
Just leaving a wake of destruction in their wake.
Ooh, but Bath are running the jam and have their jammer back in the pack, also scoring on that second scoring pass.
Brilliantly cycled there from one of those Bath blockers. This is why you might want to run that jam if you can get that London jammer kind of recycled back constantly.
Beelzebub calling it a day after a big hit to the outside.
Calling it a day. I'm done, babes. I'm done.
I feel like that was a good time to take a break.
So after that jam, Bath picking up 7, London picking up 4, brings the score to 19 to Bath, 28 to London, with just over 20 minutes left of this first half.
And we have Lavender Haze up on
Medics.
thankfully
Back where they needed to be.
Yep. And we now have London Roller Derby on 39 and Bath Roman Rollers on 21. So, we're down to an 18-point differential.
I'm glad you can do maths because that's not maths that I'm doing on a weekend. Absolutely not.
So we are back with a slight pack advantage to Bath. We have one of the London blockers in the box, and we have Jamagotchi on our S1 jam line for Bath, up against Rev and Gina George jamming for London Docklands.
Both jammers not afraid to throw some hits there right off the start of that jam, but it is Rev and Gina George that picks up lead jammer for London Roller Derby.
And we have Jamagotchi less than half a track behind and picking up speed. Oh, beautiful spin there from Rev and Gina George before calling the jam.
See, I want spinning pull-offs.
We want toe stops, we want spins. Giving us all the good stuff this early on a Saturday.
Whips. I want more whips.
Yes.
Assists.
But yeah, giving us all these nice things so early on a Saturday afternoon. I love it. We have Lavender Haze up against Beelzebub. And that is Lavender Haze out for London Docklands fight as your lead jammer, closely followed by Barb. And both jammers now back in pack. Oh, we've had a quick jump through the pack there from Beelzebub.
So Lavender Haze getting kind of caught on the back of that wall of Bath blockers, but Beelzebub able to kind of sneak through, picking up those points. This is the first time that Beelzebub has not got lead so far.
But we have had them swap back around. Lavender Haze made that pass through the pack just a bit faster.
You know, if it's the first time you haven't got lead, I'd be out for blood. You've taken my streak away from me. What do you mean?
To be fair though, in a derby game, is there such a thing as 100% lead jammer ratio?
Yes.
But not very often, I'd imagine.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this.
So, yeah.
Maybe one. I don't know. I might be lying to my team. Smash, making things up. No.
Announcers, not knowing real things.
Announcers saying things just for flavour.
Yeah.
Never heard of her. We've got J for Gendetta taking the star for the first time, I believe, for Bath, and that is Penelope Bruce jamming for London, stretching that pack out to turn 2. But it is J for Gendetta taking that star for the first time and picking up lead jammer for Bath.
We have Penelope Bruce closing that gap now.
I really enjoyed that hit there from Slow G. Was it illegal? Yes. Was it fun to watch? Also yes. Problematic faith.
It's one of those, like, the official in me says don't do it, that's a naughty. But the skater in me goes, but was it worth it?
It's all about if it's worth it. This is why I gave up being an official to be an announcer. You just have to be impartial. You can just revel
in the chaos.
Yeah.
So we have a quick official timeout. We have got Jamagotchi on the jam line for Bath Roman Rollers, and Skate Butch taking the star for London Docklands fight.
I love the shake-up in the jammer rotations. This is... you think you know what our jammer rotation is? How about Skate Butch?
Yep. Let's just change it up.
Yeah.
It must be nice to have a rotation where you have that many jammers. You can just sprinkle some in for fun.
Absolutely. Like very early on, I did kind of pick up on the fact that both teams have got at least 4 like solid rotation jammers, but both teams now been like, oh, you think you know what you're on about, Smash? Have some relief jammers. It's the relief jammers that are putting in and giving us what we want to see, that kind of lead jammer immediately just jumping down lane 1.
If that's a relief jammer, where do I buy some of that? Like, where do I get those skills, please?
So Skate Butch with the star for London Roller Derby, picking up 4 points.
Managing to hold Bath Roman Rollers at 0.
At 0. So we are on 30 to Bath, 56 to London with 13 minutes left of this first half. That's flown by. That's flown by.
That went nearly as fast as Skate Butch down that inside line.
And you've never done stream before. I won't hear it.
Oh, big hit off the line there. That was Regina George taking out Tiny Dancer straight off the line.
Have we had some offensive jamming, have we?
We have. Oh. Some beautiful offensive jamming at that, and getting lead jammer. I think that must have been their entire Christmas list in one jam there.
So Tiny Dancer being recycled back to the jam line, star in hand.
And managing to make it through that London wall.
We are still on their initial pass as Regina George is scoring. Regina George pulled in off the jam, having picked up 4 points.
Since I've passed all those blockers, don't need to do it again.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the Birmingham. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to get cancelled again.
I went past all those hips.
Yeah, I've done the hips.
Enough.
That's enough. I've got the points. I want to go and sit down.
I'm going to let Lavender Haze have a go.
Yeah.
And we have J for Gendetta on the jam line for the Bath Roman Rollers with Lavender Haze in black for London Docklands fight. And straight off of our S1 jam line, we have Lavender Haze making use of a little bit of an empty space in lane 4.
J for Gendetta, I was going to say one to beat up at the front, but that is very quickly turned into a nicely reformed wall of London blockers.
Bath with a nice little roll back there on Lavender Haze as they rejoin the pack. J for Gendetta coming in for a scoring pass, but being denied those points with a call.
So London picking up 2 there. Really nice to see the really quick reactions and kind of keeping it till the last possible moment to pull off that jam. You know, putting in that work to get every possible point while still denying Bath anything.
Yep. But that Bath wall, they're reforming there to keep hold of the London jammer and protect those last 2 points.
Lovely to see, and that's Jamagotchi, again lovely to see, taking no time at all to pick up lead jammer status by jumping down lane 1. Penelope Bruise with a big hit to lane 4 is being recycled back to the pivot line by Jin.
Jamagotchi picking up 4 points for Bath. Which I think is their first point in a few jams now, isn't it? And their first lead.
It's
for a few jams.
At the moment, I'm not sure the score reflects. It doesn't seem like the score is kind of reflective of the game that we're seeing.
Yeah.
I think London have been fairly consistent in terms of what they're putting out there, whereas we've kind of seen short, sharp bursts of Bath kind of having a bit more control. And I don't know, I would have expected the score to just be a little bit closer than what we're seeing at the moment, based on what we've seen. But we've still got so much time left. We've got 40 minutes left of actual gameplay, and I genuinely think this game could go either way.
I think a lot of that differential, though, is still there from that first jam. After that first jam, the differential hasn't been too different. I think a lot of it is that original 16 points that London picked up that Bath are working to kind of eat back into.
Yeah. So we're in an official timeout at the moment, so I'll use this time to talk about one of our other sponsors. That's Double Threat Skate Shop. London Roller Derby supports our local independent skate shop, and that's Double Threat Skates. And they were established in 2013 and is one of Europe's most trusted bespoke quads skate stores. 100% independently owned and operated by skaters. We are cool. Yes, Double Threat. Very cool. So all of the skaters just primed and ready to go. I think that is all the skaters. We've got an empty penalty box. People have resisted the urge to do something naughty for a moment.
Touchwood announcer's curse.
Nah,
doesn't fill it straight back up.
Queue in the penalty box.
So we have Skate Butch making their second appearance as jammer for London. Up against, is that Jamagotchi?
That's J for Gendetta.
Oh, J for Gendetta.
Dar for Bath. And making the most of some space in lane 4, J for Gendetta picking up lead for Bath.
Just as Skate Butch finds a lovely space on the inside lane to make their way through the pack.
See the jam refs. 2 points picked up by Bath in that last jam, bringing the score to 40 to Bath, 62 to London Roller Derby. See, that's maths I can do. That's 22. 22 points. Well done, Smash.
Well done, Smash. Snaps for Smash.
Snaps for Smash. Let's do some ASMR. to start eating crisps into the microphone.
So we have Reverend Gina George with the star for London Docklands fight.
And that is Beelzebub jamming for Bath. Whistles are being blown. Someone's done something naughty. Someone needs to go and sit down and think about what they've done.
But it's not Reverend Gina George.
But they do it. I absolutely love it. Oh, stunning.
It was the pivot for London, though,
Okay.
that did the naughty.
No star passes for you, London.
Not that you'd really want them if you lead jammer, I imagine, most of the time.
That's what we haven't had, 2-minute jam. Beelzebub is out for their initial pass and is going to be coming around for points. Reverend Gina George calling the jam with 3 blockers in the box.
But just managing to pick up that last point on 1 foot on the way on the outside.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be Lavender Haze going into this jam. I also...
Just a slight pack advantage for Bath.
I also wouldn't want to be the lone London blocker that is out on track. I have been in that situation and it is not fun.
Also, I think a lot of those whistles went quite close to the end of that last jam. That's going to feel like a very long 30 seconds.
So that is Tiny Dancer, who is out of the pack first, picking up lead jammer. Lavender Haze, not to be deterred by that pack advantage that he started against them, out fairly soon after as well.
And we do have a second London blocker on track, trying to slow down Lavender Haze. But they managed to make it through without too much difference. They are running the pack quite fast this jam, though. We've had quite a slow pack so far.
So really nice hit from J for Gendetta on Lavender Haze there, and then reforming in front, really kind of putting the brakes on there for Lavender Haze. Tiny Dancer cooling off the jam.
And it looks like that box managed to empty out during that.
So 7 points picked up by Bath in that last jam. London picking up 4, bringing the score to 47 to Bath, 70 to London. And I think that's the first time in quite a while that we've a couple of jams since Bath have had a kind of multiple pass score.
This time we do have Jamagotchi on the line for Bath. And that looks like Penelope Bruce, I believe, out as lead jammer. But we have a little bit of a jammer foot race going on. Penelope Bruce trying to hold the line, but with Jamagotchi sneaking through to pick up 1 point.
Jamagotchi, she knew what she was doing. Like she had a look on her face as if to say, I'm just going to be a pain in the backside for you, going to come round and just cause you some issues, and actually coming off best for it, picking up 1 point. London not able to pick up any in that one.
I'm just going to chill back here, and just before you can call it off, I'm going to scoot round.
Absolutely. So J for Gendetta with the star for Bath. Skate Butch jamming for London, but it is J for Gendetta picking up lead jammer.
That Bath wall just reforming around Skate Butch, and now stretching that pack right out as far as they can to give J for Gendetta the most time to pick up those points.
There's some lovely blocking from Rocker from Bath there, kind of that last line of defence.
Skate Butch coming in with a big hit there to make it through the pack.
J for Gendetta finding space in lane 4 to pick up those last 4 points for Bath. So I think we've that differential narrowing down as we kind of come towards the end of the first half. Score stands at 56 to Bath, 74 to London.
I believe an 18-point differential.
That's less than what I said earlier, so we're going in that direction. If you wanted insightful commentary, Snatch wouldn't have booked me.
Or me.
So Reverend Gina George with the star, picking up lead jammer very, very quickly. We've got Tiny Dancer with the star for Bath.
with a big recycle working their way back through that London wall. Oh, and it looks like recycle's on the menu for everybody today.
Just everyone's very green, environmentally conscious.
Yep. Revendina George on their way out for a scoring pass, but I believe that is a penalty for Tiny Dancer. So we now have a Power Jam London, and I think, is that our first 2-minute jam?
I believe it is. So an opportunity now here for Revendina George to really kind of extend that lead, which is what they're going to want kind of, coming into the end of this first half, where it has been so kind of back and forth between these two teams.
Well, especially with only just under 2 minutes left, or just over 2 minutes left on the clock. Oh no, it wasn't a 2-minute jam.
We lied.
London did have lead. My apologies, I got that wrong.
We're just here to keep you guys at home on your toes.
If you have complaints, please write them on a postcard.
And throw them in the bin.
Yep. It's okay, because we can't read the Twitch stream chat.
Oh, God.
They can shout at us.
I'm not opening Twitch.
Yeah, I can't see it, so shout in as many caps as you like.
Object permanence.
Yeah. Who's she? Never met her.
So Lavender Haze with the star for London, and with a lovely little spin, picking up lead jammer. Tiny Dancer with the star for Bath.
They are out of the box, and I believe star in hand, making their way through the pack with a nice assist from their pivot there.
Jin with the hits today. Absolutely love to see it. Taking Lavender Haze back to turn 3.
Forcing the call off.
And only 1 point picked up by London in that jam. So score stands at 56 to Bath, 84 to London, with just over 1 minute left of this half.
So we have Penelope Bruise on our S1 jam line for London Docklands fight, up against Beelzebub in white for Bath Roman Rollers. Both jammers taking the outside line there.
Oh, that is very, very close, but it is London that is lead. Penelope Bruise is your lead jammer, but it is Beelzebub that is ever so slightly out in front. Penelope Bruise, seeing the danger, calling off that jam. Another scoreless jam with just over 30 seconds left on that period clock.
We have Skateputch taking the star for London, and Jamagotchi taking the star for Bath Roman Rollers. Oh, we have a false start there from Jamagotchi.
False start?
Wheels over the line when the whistle went. Therefore, they've had to yield.
And that is Jamagotchi being sent to the penalty box. So we have got a power jam in favour of London Roller Derby.
And we have no time left on our jam clock. On our half clock, we are down to 1 minute 20 on our jam clock.
Skatebutch trying to make some room in lane 1, but that is a wonderfully fast reforming wall of Bath blockers. Skatebutch calling off the jam.
Not quite fast enough to hold Jamagotchi in the box for a power start in the second half. So when we come back, we will have all of our skaters on track.
Yeah, as it should be. A full complement of skaters where they should be. So as we go into half-time, Bath on 56, London on 85. London having kind of pulled away again with that lead. But it's been a very interesting game so far, and I can't wait to see what both of these teams are going to kind of pull out for the second half. We will be back in about 14 minutes. Go get yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a bicky, get yourself something.
Have a treat.
Have a little sweet treat. Treat yourself, babes. Go on. And we'll be back, and we will see you soon. Bye. We are ready to go for our second half of this game between London Roller Derby, Docklands Fight Railway, and Bath Roman Rollers. Score standing at 56 to Bath, 85 to London. So it's been, in terms of kind of jammer leads, it's been a fairly even split. But we're seeing London with their two big jams, one at 16, one at I think 11. That's kind of making up the bulk of that point differential. So it's those two big jams, and everything else has been fairly even. So it'll be interesting to see whether Bath are able to kind of turn the tide, as it were.
Pick up some of those big jams for themselves for this second half. But also, it'll be interesting to see if we get some more longer jams this half, because it's been very go and call for that first half.
Nickel and dime.
Yes.
Nickel and dime derby. I'm stealing that from Alex, our wonderful producer, who's here with us on the stream desk today. But we are back into the action, and that is Lavender Haze with the star for London and J for Gendetta jamming for Bath. But it's Lavender Haze who picks up lead jammer. J for Gendetta out of the pack as well. Lavender Haze calling off the jam just as J for Gendetta goes into that pack.
With a beautiful turn to try and grab any spare hips for Bath there, but not quite managing to pass any of London's. So they are held scoreless for this first jam. And we have Slow Gin out for their first jam for Bath Roman Rollers, up against Penelope Bruise for London.
So we've seen so far that Gin has been throwing some big hits as a blocker. Interesting to see if they're going to if that's going to translate as a jammer. Slow Gin not being very slow, actually pretty hot on the heels, but is being sent to the penalty box for a cut track penalty. So we have got a power jam in favour of Penelope Bruise for London. Taking a bit of a big hit there on turn 3, but not being deterred and keeping going.
As Dropkick Murphy seeming to be going with some big pushes and some big recycles, trying to hold back the points on this power jam.
So, Rocker taking Penelope Bruise back to the pivot line. Slow Gin now back on track, so Bath doing an incredible job of killing that power jam. Penelope Bruise making it out only just for their first scoring pass. That's 1 minute and 20 seconds of the jam before London able to score.
And I think that is a star stash there from Slow Gin.
Yep, so Slow Gin on their initial pass.
Oh, hang on. Is that a penalty for Penelope Bruise?
So a back block penalty issued on Penelope Bruise. So now a power jam in favour of Bath, and Slow Gin picking up points.
And this our first actual 2-minute jam that we're not lying about this time.
Yeah, so pretty sure this is the first power jam in favour of Bath. And we are going to go into this next jam with a power jam in favour of Bath as well. Penelope Bruise still sat in the box.
So that means that Bath have at least 10 seconds
Yep.
for their power start this jam.
And one blocker in the box as well. So, you know,
Pack advantage
pack
as well.
advantage as well. So, you know, the stars are aligning if you're Bath, not if you're London.
And that is Beelzebub taking to our S1 jam line for this Bath power start.
Beelzebub finding space up in lane 4 to pick up lead jammer, but Penelope Bruise now being released from the penalty box.
Working on their initial pass. Oh, and a big hit to the outside there for Beelzebub. And a big recycle from London. And that is all of our blockers back on track. With a star stash there from Penelope Bruce to complete their initial. So everyone is now eligible to be scoring points.
Skip and a jump and a burst of acceleration to get Penelope Bruce out and around.
Ooh, and an official review called by Bath.
Ooh. So this official review is brought to you by Create and Skate Factory. Do you need a gift for the skater in your life? Well, you can get skate-themed art, stickers and gifts from Create and Skate Factory, which is a passion project by Jukebox. Every sale supports a fellow skater. That's Create and Skate Factory. So once we know what this official review is all about, we will liaise to you. Liaise.
Are we getting fancy now,
Getting
Smash?
fancy. Not with me. Not with me. We will let you know as soon as we know what's going on. But, so from the first half, we can kind of see who the kind of big scorers have been for both teams. Well, we've kind of got the differential rather than their kind of raw points. So Lavender Haze, number 7-7, having a kind of positive 22 differential in that first half. And then Revengina George kind of next one down with a kind of 19-point differential. And then on Bath, Beelzebub kind of being the best kind of in terms of differential on 0. Obviously with Bath being kind of not winning, the differentials are going to be negative. So yeah, there we are with point differential.
Okay, so for our official review, Bath have requested a back block penalty on Black Jam. Oh no, a penalty on Black Jammer as they re-entered the track in front of the engagement zone. So that will be looking for an illegal re-entry penalty.
And
I do see Black Jammer is, so that is Penelope Bruce is back in the box. So it looks like Bath won their official review, and we have a full 30-second power start for Bath.
well done. Well done. Winning an official review and getting your opposing jammer into the box as well for a full 30 seconds. So J for Gendetta with the star. J for Gendetta, lead jammer for Bath.
So that is the benefit of official review. It allows teams to have a little chat with the refs if they think.
Got some beautiful turns there, trying to make sure that they get their hips through that pack, trying to challenge any of those bridges between skaters. And that persistence is paying off. That is 4 points up for Bath. But we have Penelope Bruce out of the box and with a real quick star stash straight through the pack for their initial. So they are now eligible to score.
So J for Gendetta making it out through the pack, picking up those points. But now Penelope Bruce in a position to be scoring. So looking like Bath are actually going to be running this jam a little bit longer than you might expect. So Penelope Bruce picking up the first 4 points for London of this jam. Bath doing a brilliant job of keeping those London blockers split. J for Gendetta calling off the jam.
And that is Penelope Bruce picking up an extra 3 points on their last trip through the pack.
So bringing the score to 79 to Bath Roman Rollers, 100. London breaking the century there. If you are playing Roller Derby Bingo, take a drink. Some water. Keep hydrated.
Don't forget to take your meds. If you've got them, take them.
So
make sure you're hydrated.
As we go into this next jam, Tiny Dancer with the star for Bath, Lavender Haze jamming for London.
Oh, Tiny Dancer finding a space on that inside line. Just skipping over that apex. But Lavender Haze is picking up speed and less than half a track behind.
Lavender Haze, a bit of an apex hop
A
there.
little bit, yeah.
Picking up their initial pass. Scoring pass, sorry.
I was going to say, I
I
thought they were both on
misspoke, I
scoring
misspoke.
passes. Oh,
And again,
beautiful.
finding space on the inside, picking up those points.
On that inside line.
So Bath with lead, in control of that jam, but London coming out on top, picking up 8 points to Bath 6, bringing the score to 85 to 108.
So we have Jamagotchi in white for Bath Roman Rollers on our S1 jam line, up against Skate Butch for London Docklands Fight in the black. Both jammers pushing through the middle of the pack, but it is Skate Butch who makes it through as lead jammer.
Skate Butch just shrugging off a couple of hits there, but then taking a tumble in the middle of the pack, being recycled back by Slow Gin as the Bath jammer comes in. 1 point picked up by London, denying any points to Bath, bringing the score to 85 to Bath, 109 to London. We've got 21 and a half minutes left of the game.
We have Penelope Bruise lining up on the jam line for London, up against Beelzebub for Bath Roman Rollers. So these have been some of our top jammers from the first half of the game. But it is Beelzebub who has got lead. It would appear that Penelope Bruise is getting recycled back that inside line. Definitely shut down by Bath, but not quite the outside one. Oh, big hits there.
So everyone looking good. Everyone's back to where they should be. So far, only had a few jams so far, but so far that it has been an even split for the lead jammers so far. So interesting to see. But Bath have kind of chipped away at that point differential. I believe kind of clawing 5 points back from where we were 10 minutes ago. So yeah, you know, with another 20 minutes,
It's still anyone's game.
It is.
Like a couple more of those 16-point jams, and we could be looking at a lead change.
I mean, we did have a 12-point jam from Bath earlier in this half. Having a quick look, yeah, that was the biggest jam that Bath have scored so far this game. Biggest jam so far being 16-point of jam 1 in the first half. Yeah, let's see some more big jams. Big jams.
So we have Tiny Dancer is jamming for Bath.
And Reverend Gina George is spinning off to the outside and being recycled to the back of the pack. It is Tiny Dancer who is lead jammer.
Oh, we have a back block going on to Reverend Gina George. So we have another power jam for Bath.
This isn't what we were seeing in the first half. With, you know, we were seeing quite a few jammer penalties from Bath in the first half. Now we're seeing, you know, a couple from London in this half, and an opportunity for, you know, Bath to really capitalise on that. Tiny Dancer is now going to the penalty box as well. I didn't quite see what penalty it was that they were assessed on, but we've got a switcheroo.
We love a jammer switcheroo.
We love a switcheroo. But it does mean that we
Another
will be running
jam.
for the full 2 minutes. So Reverend Gina George now still on their initial pass, but we have seen so far that Bath have done a brilliant job of kind of locking down and killing that power jam. Not necessarily the case this time though. Reverend Gina George now out on for their initial and coming around for points.
And Tiny Dancer is now back on track and looking for another scoring pass. I believe they have all 4 points in their pocket. They just need to make it through the pack for them to go up. And yep, that is 4 points apiece.
Oh, Revengina George looking over her shoulder, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna just,
Are we going to go for a little hit?
just gonna go for a little hit, just gonna get in the way."
Oh, I think that was a little bit of an illegal something there for Revengina George, though, and they are taking another seat in the penalty box.
And it does mean that we're going to go into this next jam with Revengina George starting in the box, the power jam in favour of Bath. So just while we wait and just make sure that all of the points have gone up for that jam. So it looks like Bath picking up 9, London picking up 5, bringing the score to 94 to 114.
And we have a team timeout called by London. And so while they take that, I will give you a little bit about S1 helmets. The S1 Lifer helmet, best fit, best protection, the S1 Lifer helmet. Get a lifer, be a lifer.
Get a lifer, be a lifer.
So I think, well, I can only imagine that London are taking this team timeout to maybe talk about those jammer penalties, maybe get back on top of those and think about maybe calming it, bringing it back down a little bit. I mean, and trying to keep that point differential that they have for the remaining 18 minutes.
I mean, Bath have just picked up kind of 2 leads in a row. We haven't seen a massive lead streak from Bath in quite a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if London are going to be using that team timeout to kind of try and disrupt that flow. Doing a bit of a Mexican wave here in the venue, but whistles are being blown. I thought we were going back into the action.
Next whistle should start the jam.
That is famously the instruction. Next whistle should start the jam.
And we have Jamagotchi with the start for Bath Roman Rollers.
Revengina George starting in the penalty box. Jamagotchi wasting no time making their way to the front, but with 2 London blockers to beat.
And a London blocker going to the box for destruction of pack, I believe.
It was quite stretched out, so I'm not surprised. Jamagotchi making it look easy there, picking up those 4 points for Bath. Revengina George now back on track and spinning around that Bath blocker, stumbling to the knees and then just running away on their initial pass.
Oh, and Jamagotchi taking a whip there from Skatey.
I did ask for whips. They were
did.
clearly listening. What a jam! What a jam!
Ooh.
So 8 points picked up there by Bath, breaking the century, bringing the score to 102 to 114. Right.
I believe that is the closest differential we've had all game so far at only 12 points.
I think it might be. I think it might. With that 16-point jam, we've been mentioning it a lot, but it's had a very big impact on the game. So J for Gendetta with the star for Bath. Lavender Hayes jamming for London, but it is J for Gendetta picking up lead jammer yet again for Bath.
I think they're definitely taking this momentum and running with it.
Yeah.
In this second half. But Lavender Hayes spreading that pack out and finally making it past that last Bath blocker to get through on their initial.
So Lavender Hayes making it out for their first scoring pass. J for Gendetta going in for their second.
Lavender Hayes coming in for their second scoring pass.
But being hit off into the inside on turn 3. J for Gendetta being told to run the jam.
But trapped on the back of that London wall. I say as she darts around to the inside and makes it through.
It's getting tense. It's
It
getting
is.
tense. Both teams picking up 8 points in that jam. So we are sitting at 110 to Bath, 122 to London with 15 minutes left.
Oh, we have Penelope Bruise up on the jam line for London, up against Beelzebub for Bath Roman Rollers. Really close pack on that outside line.
And that is Beelzebub picking up lead jammer as Penelope Bruise is recycled to the back of the pack. But Penelope Bruise making the most of a couple of down skaters jumping around the inside to make their initial pass.
Beelzebub coming back in for a scoring pass, but getting caught on those same down skaters and calling it off as Penelope Bruise comes back for a scoring pass.
So 3 points picked up there by Bath. It's a 9-point differential.
Oh.
We're down to single digits.
And with less than 15 minutes left, it's getting close. So we have Tiny Dancer on our S1 jam line up against Skate Butch.
So we have seen Skate Butch being quite successful when jamming previously so far this game. So is this going to be what London needs? Yeah, to break that streak of Bath leads. And it is Skate Butch picking up lead jammer for London. Tiny Dancer now out for their initial. Skate Butch decided not to hit Tiny Dancer and to just go for the points. Go for the points.
Yep. Oh, and a really quick pass through the pack for both jammers there.
Both jammers making that look relatively easy.
We do have a two-piece pack advantage to London at the moment. So Skate Butch calling it off and managing to lock one of the Bath blockers into the penalty box.
So big jam for London, picking up 11 points to Bath's 6. So bringing the score to 119 to Bath, 133 to London with just under 13 minutes left of the game.
That's got to be what London want, really, to get some more points back into that differential, especially with the massive chunk Bath just
I mean,
out of it.
that's London's biggest jam of the half. So Lavender Haze now back on the S1 jam line, picking up lead jammer. J for Gendetta jamming for Bath. Both jammers out of the pack. Nice short jam there as Lavender Haze picking up 4 points, calling it before Bath are able to pick up any.
And London sending out Skate Butch again to the jam line, up against Jamagotchi for Bath. And we have a full complement of blockers on track.
And jammers.
And jammers.
And jammers.
That's what we like. And that is lead for Bath, going to Jamagotchi. So I think this game, and especially this half, has just been very backwards and forwards between who's in control of the points and the clock. And I think especially as we're getting closer to the last 10 minutes, watching that clock is going to be really important.
So it's interesting. So Jamagotchi in lead jammer, but Skate Butch just hitting those walls, going through like an absolute freight train, picking up those points for London and coming out on top. So, you know, picking up 4 points to Bath's 3 despite not actually being lead.
So we have Reverend Gina George now up against Beelzebub.
Skate Butch is scoring that last jam.
Both jammers doing a little dodge to the inside and then back to the out, and both with a little recycle. But it is Revendina George who is out for lead.
So Beelzebub finding space on the outside line, but being taken out.
I believe the blocker went out with them. Oh, no, not quite. Beelzebub is picking up the cut track. So this is a power jam for London. The Bath blockers really working to hold that pack and try and keep Revendina George locked down, but they are making it through for 4 points. A little bit of a stumble as they hit the pack, but the London Wall trying their best to make space, but Revendina George calling it off from the floor. And I believe the Bath jammer was released just before the call off.
So penalty box empty. We're going to have a full complement of skaters up on track. So London, in this past couple of jams, we were at a 9-point differential. They've extended that to 26. So in the space of a couple of jams, and with only kind of 9 minutes left, it's not a huge amount of time for Bath to really put anything in to kind of come back. But hopefully we'll see what Tiny Dancer can do with the star for Bath, and it's Tiny Dancer who makes it out for lead.
Penelope Bruce getting recycled back to the back of the pack again by number 69 for Bath.
So Elsie Dagger being issued a directional penalty there, but Tiny Dancer making it out for those 4 points for Bath. Penelope Bruce now out of the pack for their initial, but Tiny Dagger making the most of a lovely sweep there from the Bath blockers to pick up those 4 points.
And I believe that's a 12-point jam for Bath.
So we're showing 8 at the moment. We'll see if any more go
I might
up.
have missed the...
So Lavender Haze and Jamagotchi taking to the S1 jam line. Both jammers with a bit of a tentative start there. But Lavender Haze finding space in lane 4, picking up lead jammer, even with a slight pack disadvantage.
Jamagotchi about half a track behind, trying to make up the distance. But Lavender Haze is through the pack and calling it off. Taking us to 130 for Bath, against playing 152 for London Docklands fight, which is a 22-point differential.
It's where we've kind of been sitting for most of the game, around that kind of 20-ish mark. I think the highest we've ever kind of got to was maybe around 30, so it's been consistent, shall we say. And J for Gendetta picking up that lead jammer status for Bath.
And Skate Butch making it out of the pack on their initial pass.
Skate Butch going in fast into that wall, calling off the jam, seeing the danger there from the London jammer. So 4 points picked up by Bath, bringing the score to 134 to 152 with 6 minutes left of the jam. So a late hit penalty being issued to Skate Butch.
So this is going to be another power start for Bath. It looks like they have Tiny Dancer taking the power start.
So we are in an official timeout at the moment. Switching the jammers.
Switcheroo. So we have Slow Jin coming to take the star for Bath.
I think only the second time we've seen Jin take the star so far.
I think so, yeah.
We saw their physicality last time they took the star, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the power jam situation. And picking up lead jammer nice and quickly. And we're going to, hopefully, full 30 seconds of power jam.
I think as well, it's a little bit of a change up here from Bath, because a lot of the jammers have been very dancey, a lot of no contact, whereas Slow Jin is very much, let's just push the pack.
They're not afraid of a hit.
Let's just force our way through.
Absolutely.
So changing it up against that London wall for the power jam. But saying that, Skate Butch is now back out on track and has taken a whip to make it through for their initial pass.
So that is second scoring pass for Slow Jin for Bath. Skate Butch now going into the pack for their first scoring pass, finding no resistance from the Bath blockers there. So a nice easy 4 points for London. Slow Jin going in for their third scoring pass. And coming up against a very strong wall of London blockers. So 3 additional points picked up by Slow Jin there, bringing the total to 11 to London's 4. So we are on 145 to 156, an 11-point differential with 4 minutes to go.
My heart rate's going up. The longer this game goes on, the higher my heart rate is getting.
You've only got 4 minutes left, so that's some consolation, but at the same time, I don't want it to end.
So we have Tiny Dancer with the star for Bath.
Penelope Bruise being taken back to the S1 jam line. But that is giving Penelope Bruise a bit of a run-up as they go into that wall again. And it is Penelope Bruise that comes out on top and is lead jammer for London. Tiny Dancer being hit to the outside and taken to the back of the pack.
Tiny Dancer making the most of a little confusion there with a little star stash to make it through on the initial pass. I will get my words out eventually.
Penelope Bruise calling off the jam.
Picking up 2 points for London.
So we are going into a team timeout. So I use this timeout to talk to you about Double Threat Skate Shop. London Roller Derby supports our local independent skate shop, Double Threat Skates, which was established in 2013 and is one of Europe's most trusted bespoke quad skate stores. 100% independently owned and operated by skaters. And Double Threat Skate Shop, they are cool.
They are.
So, 3 minutes left. And a 13-point differential. Anything could still happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen.
We've had a one official review. Like, Bath won their official review in the first half.
Yep.
We've still got 3 timeouts for Bath to take. And their official review.
Their retained official review, yeah.
Yep. London still have their official review. And 1 more team timeout.
Oh, do you think they're going to drag this out? How many stoppages can we throw into this?
We've got a few more that we can throw in.
I mean, it's an opportunity for, to rest up your skaters. So J for Gendetta picking up lead jammer after a stoppage, a minute to rest and rejuvenate.
Lavender Haze really fighting that Bath wall, but they are reforming and recycling.
J for Gendetta just weaving around those London blockers, picking up those first 4 points for Bath. J for Gendetta coming back round and again making fairly easy work of that London wall.
Lavender Haze is now on a scoring pass and just absolutely ran through the middle of that pack there to pick up those 4 points.
So J for Gendetta now on their third scoring pass, making it round lane 1, running the jam.
Oh, Lavender Haze coming through on that inside line of turn 4 with a little hop to pick up their second scoring pass. That is J for Gendetta doing a little jump on the straightaway there on the inside line.
So we are currently at 16 points for Bath. We'll wait and see if any more fingers are thrown up in the air by our jam refs. No, it looks like we're sticking
10
at 16.
points to
10
London.
points.
I think that's our biggest jam this half.
That is biggest jam for total points. It's Bath's biggest jam. It's the biggest scoring jam for any single team, joint with the first jam of the entire game. We're on a 7-point differential. We've got a minute left.
And Bath are out with Dropkick Murphy for lead. And I believe this is Dropkick Murphy's first jam as a jammer.
I believe so. And Skate Butch is taken back to the back of the pack.
Because Dropkick Murphy has been picking in some big hits, usually as the pivot this game, and as a blocker.
So Skate Butch is out for their initial. Dropkick Murphy calling the jam from the floor, picking up an additional 3 points. We are on
a tie
game
with
and
27 seconds remaining.
I didn't see what time the
And we
period
have
clock was on.
It was on 29 seconds, and we've had a team timeout from Bath, so there will be one more jam.
I have never. Oh.
There will be one more jam.
So
how many leads have Bath had
is
in
this
the last few
is
jams?
this going to be a standard jam or is this an overtime jam?
This will be a standard jam.
So this will be a standard
because the team
jam.
timeout was called.
Okay.
So there will be one more jam. Have we had?
Thank you for clarifying.
2 leads previously for Bath, 1 before that for London, and then 2 more before that for Bath. So.
Oh
my
I
goodness.
feel a little bit sick, and I'm not even playing.
So we have J for Gendetta up against Lavender Haze. I'm so excited, I've just thrown my pen on the floor.
I'm not surprised. The atmosphere in the venue is
Tense,
most definitely picking
to say
up.
the least.
I feel unwell.
We're
I
back
think
up
that's
to
the
30.
only way I can describe this.
We're up to 32 seconds. Next whistle is going to start the jam. So we've got J for Gendetta for Bath up against Lavender Haze for London. So I imagine if Bath get out leads, they're going to run it. If London get out as lead, I imagine they're going to call it as soon as that clock hits 0.
I mean, you
So-
want to get some points first, babe. You want to get some points first. Otherwise, we are going into an overtime jam.
That's true. We've had a big hit and recycle on that second corner.
J for Gendetta is lead.
Skate Bush on a massive recycle to the back of the pack.
So the period clock is down to 0. Bath are lead. They just need to get
They
1
just
point.
need 1 point and call. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes and if they pull it out for the differential, if Bath's blockers can keep hold of Skate Bush. But so far, it is a very physical pack. But
J for Gendetta is
J for
out.
Gendetta has made it out for 4 points.
So there is a minute left on the jam clock. The period clock is done. That is the jam.
And that is J for Gendetta listening to their bench and calling the jam. So our unofficial score is 168 to London Roller Derby, 172 to Bath Roman Rollers.
What an incredible end to what has been it's such an exciting game. But for that to come out in those last 2 jams,
Those last 4 minutes have just been incredible roller derby from everybody.
I mean, I'm lost for words, which as an announcer is not a great thing. All I have is my words. both teams putting up an incredible fight throughout that entire hour of gameplay. But
and that is our final whistle. We are now on an official score of London Roller Derby 168, and our winners for this first game are Bath Roman Rollers at 172.
wow.
What? I can't imagine how Jay for Vendetta must be feeling right now.
I think all of Bath.
Yeah.
All of Bath. Pulling out that finish of that game, it's been absolutely wonderful to watch, and it's been an honour to actually be able to tell you folks at home about all of the action that's been going on track here today.
What a game for my first stream.
I know.
Absolutely incredible.
You've done very well. Well done.
They've given us so much to talk about.
Exactly. Please do stick around. There is more roller derby coming up later this afternoon when Vendetta Vixens will take on London Battersea Power. That will be at some point later this afternoon. I don't have an exact time for you. But thank you once again for joining us. I have been Smash.
And I have been Elf Indulgence.
Yeah, so about half an hour, hopefully, and we will be up for our next track and our next game. We have been joined by Alex is on Fire as our producer this afternoon.
Giving us all the best stats.
All of the stats. Yeah, go get yourself a cup of tea, get some cake, do all of the good things, and we will be back in about half an hour.
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath, I need one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Love you, bye.
Bye.